G'day, ZiggyD here with some Path of Exile news. In a recent video I talked a bit about a diamond newsletter that was sent around that had some information about the upcoming patches 0.10.2 and future patches beyond that, and how they would be adding skills and things like that to the game. In an earlier video I also talked a bit about some hints towards duelist reworking and things like that. Well, Chris has done a write-up of 0.10.2, the patch, what's coming in 0.10.2, not the official patch notes yet, but like a teaser of what's coming in it. And there's some pretty interesting stuff in it actually. So the first really big one is that they're adding their first new skill for the open beta. Oh yeah, open beta. And that is an intelligence skill called Incinerate. So it's a spell, basically. It's a fire spell. They've recognized that, you know, fire casters really need something to sort of fill the gap in their arsenal of weaponry. So Incinerate is basically it's a standstill cast sort of spell. So the way it works is the longer you repeatedly cast the skill without moving, the larger and more damaging the flames become. So that's pretty interesting because it doesn't sound like it's a channeled ability. Path of Exile doesn't have any channeled abilities. However, it seems like it functions in a similar effect to a channeled ability, because basically if you're standing on the spot, basically casting it over and over, it's going to get more and more powerful. So it's a pretty interesting spell just from that alone, basically, because you have this idea of, you know, I can't kite, I need to be fairly tanky maybe, and it sounds like it might be also fairly close range, but if I can stand still for long enough and cast it for long enough, and maybe with a really fast cast speed, then it's going to become really powerful and have massive AoE. So I'll be pretty interested to see how that actually plays. But they said they will be releasing a video and some screenshots showing the skill after a few more tweaks have been made. So we've got that to look forward to before the patch actually releases, it sounds like. So I'm pretty interested to see that. I'm sure you fire casters and fire witches are pretty interested to play around with that. Hopefully, I'm not sure how they'll be implementing the skills into the game, whether they'll just be drops or whether you'll be able to go back and get them from quest rewards, but I'll try and get my hands on one as soon as possible when the patch comes out so that I can show you guys in a video how it plays and things like that. So one thing that's listed as a minor feature in the patch, which I think is actually pretty major, is that changes to the duelist passive skill tree are being made to make the class more powerful. So we hypothesized that this would be happening. However, something interesting out of this is that it's only likely that characters who are affected by the move skills will have their passive trees reset. So that's interesting, because I thought that it would be giving passive resets to everybody basically, because even if you're not in the duelist area or, you know, having those nodes that they change, any class could potentially go to the duelist area. You might have planned out a build that goes to that particular area of the duelist. So if you have a very specific, you know, for whatever reason you were going to the area of the duelist, I don't know. But if you have a specific build that was planning on getting some passives in the duelist area, you might have to replan your build out a little bit when these changes happen, because you won't be getting a passive respec. So that means that maybe my duelists that I've already have made, if some of their skills, their passives are switched around, then we might be, they might be getting some changes, and that passive tree will be reset and I'll be able to make a new build out of that. So maybe if you guys have some duelists, maybe they'll get reset. But it sounds like it only really depends on the actual passives that they change. So it sounds like they'll only be making a few small changes maybe to begin with. Maybe they have some more stuff planned in the long term. In terms of balance changes, we've got damage boosts to at least 5 skills. Now they don't say which skills these are, so I don't really have in my mind which ones they could be. Maybe there'll be some melee skills, because they plan on buffing melee anyway. In terms of nerfs, we have low levels of poison arrow and fire trap are being nerfed, so that's obviously in response to the popularity of these skills in racing. Chris says that they're still pretty good even after the changes, so I still think they'll probably dominate the races, but maybe they just won't be quite as good as they were at the lower levels. We also have the addition of level 78 and 79 item mobs, so people pushing the end game can start picking up eye level 78 and 79 items and, you know, start rolling those for some better mods. So that's pretty much it that's listed for 0.10.2. There's some other minor changes on the list. Link to it in the description below so you can check it out. But he also gives us a teaser of what's coming in 0.10.3 and says that with them filling the gap for firecasters in 0.10.2, they're going to be adding an area of effect melee skill for 0.10.3. Now in the past they've mentioned that this could be in the form of a support skill as well, so it might be something that instead modifies existing melee skills, or it might be something aimed at one-handed melee skills, probably like claws and things like that, which really need an AoE ability. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what that is. So you are one-handed melee users, you have something to look forward to within a couple weeks' time. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.